Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, The Path of Me. I'm your host, Wendy Hutchinson, and today we have this beautiful, beautiful guest, Tammy Callahan, who's joining us from San Diego, California. Hey, Tammy, how are you today?
Hi. Hi, good to see you.
You too. Thanks so much for being on the show. And I wanted to start by talking a little bit about your history. You're such a world traveler and adventurer, and you've done so many cool things. Like, you're so inspiring to me. So I'm so glad you're here today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I wanted to find out if you've always been this way, living such an authentic and powerful life, or if it was a process. Where did it all begin for you?
God, I would definitely say it's been a process. I didn't start out that way. I've always been kind of an active person, and I like to get out into nature and explore. But I really think that where I'm at today was a journey for sure. I grew up kind of poor, so I didn't have a lot of opportunities to do some of the cooler things that my friends were doing and travel early on or anything like that. I mean, my idea of, getting away into my late teens was our family road trip to Montana to visit my grandparents. But so we didn't really do much as a family in terms of adventure and travel. But I think a big part for it was meeting Jeff, my husband. We both followed in sort of a similar boat in our late teens, and had this long list of things that we wanted to do that we'd never done. And we started out just going on little ski trails and taking little road trips to Utah or to the Sierra Mountains. And I think as life progressed and our financial situation got a little bit more stable, those dreams got a little bigger and a little bit bigger. And fortunately, I was with someone who shared that with me and was willing to kind of go down that path with me.
Yeah, you were fortunate. You met him, I think, as a teenager, right? Were you in high school?
Yeah. Yeah, we met at 15. We became really good, kind of good friends. And then we started dating my first semester at college. So pretty early on.
Wow. So how long have you been married?
25 years this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That is huge. That's a whole nother show in itself.
Right. Yeah, it is. Show.
Yeah. So I know you guys are avid outdoorsmen or outdoors people.
Yeah.
I'm curious how over time I know you've tackled some major trails, and I wanted to talk to you about that, the evolution of, how did your hiking kind of go from this very casual kind of
day trippers,
major backpacking trips?
Yeah, we, like a lot of people just started out as day hikers or car campers and, just go out for little day trips here and there. But the thing that really kind of, out of the backpacking adventures that we've been having in recent years, really kind of happened by accident. Jeff and his really good friends were mountain biking regularly every week, a couple times a week. And two of his friends got injured mountain biking, and so they still wanted to get out, and I suggested, well, hey, why don't we just start hiking a little bit while you guys do your rehabbing, and it'll be a little bit more low impact, less risk. And so we started doing these hikes all over San Diego County. And then I read Wild. And when I was reading the book Wild by Cheryl Strayed, I was coming to the trail on our hikes and talking to the guides about it. Like, isn't this crazy? insane. She has experience and she's hitting the trail. Like, so that was kind of an extreme story, but it got us all kind of talking about it more. Like, oh, that's kind of fun. I mean, we're not going to go hike the PCT tomorrow, but we've got great, a lot of trails and stuff going on in our backyard. Let's do an overnight trip. Let's do a 2-night trip. And from there, it became, within a year and a half, it was like, well, let's do the John Muir Trail. Oh, okay.
Well, tell me about the John Muir. That's so ambitious. I mean, if anybody could do it, I know you guys can, because you guys are amazing. I just want to share this hilarious aside, this little side story, and you'll remember this. I remember my husband had taken the kids for like a camping trip or something. I had this awesome couple days to myself. So I treated myself to a spa day. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to connect with Tammy and Jeff and have some beers and dinner and blah, blah, blah. So I called you and you said, well, we're going to do this little hike and then we could go have dinner and have a beer. And I was like, that sounds great. You're like, tell me where to meet and everything. So I show up in this like matching tracksuit, no joke, like super cute little tracksuit. And everybody shows up with their like poles and they look like they did REI magazine. And I knew I was in trouble. As soon as I saw the group, I was like, oh, this is not going to end well for me.
You were super. You did great.
You handed me a headlamp. And I remember the guy, I don't even remember his name, but he was leading the hike. And he decided to be really fun to go off trail and then got lost. And so it ended up being a 4-hour nighttime hike. And I just remember thinking, I really hope I don't break an ankle, because my burnt out, and I was just thinking about coyotes and mountain lions, freaking out, So
I think we saw a tarantula. Didn't we see or scorpion or something? It was in the dark. That was kind of fun. You did great, but it was a little bit extreme that I was standing for you.
Yeah, I was thinking, I think the first thing we did was this thing called Cardiac Hill, and at the top I was like, wow, this is great. Now we can take a picture and go have our beers. And you're like,
no.
It didn't work out that way. So tell me about your John Muir experience.
Well, that was a really great experience, and it was 2 Septembers ago now. So the really interesting thing about it is that the longer I am away from it, the more amazed I am that we did it and that we did it well. I mean, it was 211 miles. We started Labor Day, so I think it was September 7th, 2 years ago. And our plan was to average 15 miles a day and get done in 15 days.
15 miles a day?
Yeah, 15.
Okay.
And we went the southbound route. So the nice thing about doing the southbound route is that you kind of increase in elevation as you go. You're not starting out at the really high, over 10,000 foot passes out of the gate. You've got an opportunity to sort of build up to it. But I just sort of looked at it as that's my job for the day. Like, I have to get up today and I have to hike 15 miles. And if it takes me, 6 hours or 16 hours, that's what I've got to get done to stay on track. But man, was it beautiful. And we were so fortunate because no one got injured. No one had any bad blister situations that have a tendency to occur in those long distance. Yeah. We were super lucky. It just went as well as it possibly could. No crazy weather storms coming in at all. Nothing like that. So we stayed 15 miles a day, and it was so beautiful. I've never seen anything like that. Just every day going up over these, 10,000 foot, 11,000 foot, 12,000 foot mountain passes. and just the views for miles in every direction. Really, really beautiful.
What's it like mentally? I know physically you guys are in amazing shape because you guys are so active. I mean, you know, you guys used to do triathlons too, right?
Yeah, we did that for a while, way back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
You guys are so inspiring. I know Jeff does some century rides and he's still into biking a lot. But when you're on that trail for that amount of time, what's going through your head? You know, what's that like?
It's nice to have a goal. For me personally, I like to set goals for myself. I just operate better that way. And each night before I would go to bed, I would sit in the tent with the map of what was coming up for the next day. And I would just kind of prepare myself for it. Like, this is what I'm going to need to do to get to the next spot. And there's a lot of visualization. I've always been, one of my softball coaches in high school kind of turned me on to visualization really early on. So I've been kind of an advocate of that in my process. I think it's important to just kind of visualize what you need to do to get through it. So that helps with the mental. And just moving. That's another really big part of it for me. And like I said, because we didn't have any injuries or anything like that to contend with, it really was just keeping moving, keeping your feet moving, and stopping when you're tired, rest, and then get back up, put that 40-pound backpack back on your back, and keep going, trudging along.
Girl, that's so inspiring. So what have you learned, you know, with all of this backpacking and all of this adventure you've gone on? What have you learned about yourself, Tammy? There's be things that translate to your day-to-day life, you know, because you have a job. And
that's a good question, because I've never quite given myself as much credit. I always feel like I could be in better shape. I could be doing more. Over the years, I've sort of felt bad if I'm holding the group back. But this particular move really showed me, like, wow, when you put your mind to things and you put the training in, you can just do things you never dreamed of. I mean, like I said, it's been almost 2 years now since we did that. And I think I'm more amazed now talking about it with people than I was back then when I did it. Like, when you think about having to do that for 15 days in a row, no rest days, because we had to get back to work. We didn't have the luxury. But, you know, it was really amazing. The body's amazing, the mind's amazing, and yeah, I feel pretty awesome about that right now.
I'm so amazed by you. I mean, not just that, but really, I've known you for so many years, and you have always managed to live a life that is just in such alignment with your truth. You're so empowered. For me, looking from the outside in, you are such an empowered woman. And I'd like to know how you became this beautiful and empowered being. We don't necessarily come out that way. You know, there's a road that we travel to get to this place.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was always sort of watching and paying attention in my house growing up, and there were a lot of things that I didn't like. And there were a lot of things that I recognized from a really early age, like, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to limit myself. I don't want to have to put my dreams on hold. So just kind of watching my parents go through these lives where neither one of them were very happy. So why would they stay there? Like, I just started asking myself a lot of these questions. And I think I eventually came to the realization that my ticket to freedom was going to be my education and making my way for myself, making my own money. And so that's what I did. And I've just sort of built this little life piece by piece that has given me more and more freedom to do the things that are important to me and that bring me joy.
Yeah, that is one thing that you guys are really great at, is just doing things that bring you joy. And it shows. It shows in your sense of adventure. I know, were you guys in Bora Bora? There was a picture of you. And I'm going to ask you to send that to me, because I want to put that picture of you at the end of this interview.
Oh, great.
Show people what absolute bliss looks like.
Yep, that was last year for our 24-year wedding anniversary. We went to Tahiti, and and I have those moments, Wendy, in life. I'm trying not to get emotional, but I have those moments where, and that was one of them, where I'm sitting there and I just think, oh my gosh, where I came from. Like, person that my life should have looked like this. But it did, and it does, and yeah. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I can sit in these really beautiful places and look out over the water or off of a mountaintop and just say, I did this.
You did it. You did it. You and Jeff,
yeah,
is incredible, because you guys have a great partnership. But I also want to find out how everybody faces adversity in their lives, right?
Yeah.
It's adversity in our childhood, or in our family relationships, or in our lives on day to day. I mean, that stress is a natural occurrence in life, and you clearly have some tools that help you to move through it or overcome it. Is there like a mindset that you use, or a mantra, or some daily practices that have created this, incredible life that you're living right now?
Just keep moving. I mean, for some people, it took me 12 years to get my college degree, because I had to work full time and go to school in the evenings. And then there were a lot of days when I was just like, why am I doing this to myself? I've got a good job. Why do I need to finish my school? I just think you need to keep moving forward, and things will happen. Like I said, I honestly feel like the life that I've built has been piece by piece. I've never felt necessarily that anything came to me very easily. But instead of wallowing in that, it's like I get up the next day and I take another step. And I get up the next day and I take another step. And I don't know where, I think maybe it comes from that by taking the steps where it's gotten me so far. Maybe that's the real answer is, I stayed in school, and then I got my degree, and then I got a better job. And then it's just like, it wasn't fast moving, but yeah. I just kept moving.
So it's just like, never give up.
Yeah, never. And set goals. Like for my set goals, I like to dream. I still dream. I still have big dreams, things that I really want to experience and accomplish. This was a great story to share, because early on I mentioned that Jeff and I, early on in our relationship, used to just do these little road trip, camping trips throughout, the western part of the United States, because it's kind of hard to do myself, right? Mm-hmm. Well, many years ago, when we were in Zion, sitting by a campfire, we sat down and we wrote a list of 10 things that we wanted to do in our lifetime. I found that journal about 3 years ago now. After many, many years of not seeing it, not thinking about it, and accomplished 9 of those 10 things.
What? Oh my
gosh. Oh, I was just like, it wasn't even at a real heightened conscious level that we were checking things off. Like it was something we wrote by campfire one night, and here we were, 15 years later, 20 years later, or whatever it was, and we had done 9. And my first thought was, wow, that's awesome. So my second thought was, I need a new list.
Yes. I think there's really a power in committing our dreams to paper, putting them down on paper and just sending them out into the universe and then forgetting about them.
Yeah.
There's an energy to that, I think, by sitting down and actually writing down what our dreams are. That's why people do vision boards or they journal or whatever the tool is. But there's something really powerful, I think, about sending that out into the ethers and then having it come back. You have no idea, kind of probably forgot about it, and you have no idea that you're even checking things off this list, and how powerful that you found it.
Yes, it felt really good. And it just reinforced, for myself, the power of writing things down and continuing to dream and continuing to think about the things that you want from life.
Yeah.
Just chip away.
So have you started your new list?
Yeah, I've got about 3 or 4 things I think that I added since that. The one is still on it, the one we still haven't done, which is I really would like to do an African safari at some point in my life. But yeah, I've added a few more things, and then not all of them are travel, based, but I've always, wanted to kind of entertain writing and doing something like that. So maybe someday I'll finish my novel that I've only had 2 chapters to for the last 20 years.
Well, at least you started. That's a good thing. You started putting your thoughts down. So that's awesome. I'll be the first one to buy your book when you
thank you.
Publish your book. What are you thinking? What's your concept about for the book you want to write eventually?
Well, I think it would be good. I would like to try to find a way to tell my mom's story, because I think, I lost my mom when she was just 54 to cancer. And, I think a lot of people of her generation, she had a lot of unfulfilled dreams. And the cancer, obviously robbed her of an opportunity to make some of those dreams come true. I'd like to try to find a way to tell her story during cancer, and then, when she got to the point of realizing and accepting her mortality. I think it would be a good lesson for people.
Absolutely. How old were you when she passed away?
30.
Wow, that must have been so hard. You're just really stepping into your life fully.
Yeah, it's really hard losing a parent, and that was a really difficult, and to watch them, suffer in that way is really, really painful.
Yeah. How did you move through that? Did you have, obviously you had a lot of support from Jeff, maybe friends and family around you, but how do you move through that type of grief?
Well, I ended up having kind of a mini meltdown about 3 months after her passing, because when we were right in the thick of it, and especially right after her passing, I was the one kind of taking care of a lot of stuff, all the paperwork, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and just making sure everything got done. My Fonda, she was really helpful too during that time, and I think we leaned on each other a lot during that period, and trying to be strong for my niece and nephew who were really young when it was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really feel like I had a chance to properly grieve because I had so much going on and so much to take care of right immediately following that. So about 3 months after, I just took some time off from work. I told Jeff, like, hey, I need some time. I haven't done this properly. So I went and I saw a therapist for about 6 months and took some time off from work to kind of take care of myself and grieve. And then I think it's important to keep talking. There's a lot of people that don't want to talk about dead ones, but I just don't subscribe to that philosophy. I feel like I keep her alive and talking about her, and especially talking with her family, her extended family, and people who knew her when she was younger. And I just love talking about her.
I know she had such a big influence on you, and you guys were pretty close, right?
Yeah, really close.
I know she'd be proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
She would be.
I
You've
think
done
so.
so much. You've accomplished so much. I mean, I think you've been such a great example of someone who's lived their dreams to the fullest. I think she would be watching you and be so amazed that you created this life for yourself. You own a home, own home. You guys have traveled the world. If you go on that African safari, mommy, give me a year or two to save for it, but that is on my list. Like,
I know.
It's so cool to go with you guys, but I think it's great to honor the memory of people rather than pretend they didn't even exist, right? It's almost like you don't speak of it because it's too painful for you. You're almost not honoring of their life because it's just like this suppressed thing,
That's how I feel about it. I would agree with that. I know everyone doesn't. They have their own ways of dealing and processing the loss. But for me, I especially love hearing a new story that I haven't heard before. Because some of the stories get told over and over again by certain, family members.
Yeah.
And I just love hearing a new story that I haven't heard. It usually makes me laugh. And
I know you're from a Portuguese background, and they're usually very family oriented, right? That's a huge part of your culture, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's probably the culture that I most associate with because I grew up so closely connected to that growing up in Point Loma. And, my dad was a commercial tuna fisherman, and all of the family, that's what they did. And we were pretty.
I know that. I didn't know your dad was a commercial fisherman.
Yeah. Yeah. He was in the Navy, and that's how he met my mom. He was stationed out here in San Diego. And then after he got out of the Navy, my mom, her family got him a job working in the tuna industry. And so he fished for he fished until I want to say I was 15, 16 years old.
So, and your dad has passed too, right?
No, he's still hanging on.
Does he still live in Point Loma?
No, he's been in Montana for many years. Yeah,
okay.
He and my mom separated, gosh, I don't know, 97-ish, 98, I want to say, and he moved back to Montana, and he's been there ever since.
Okay, so he's been there a while.
All the years of drinking and smoking have certainly caught up to him.
That stuff catches up to you. So what's next on your bucket list? What do you and Jeff have ahead of you guys? What's coming down the pipe for you guys?
Well, this is a really big, exciting year for us. We not only celebrate our 25-year wedding anniversary, but we both turned 50 this year. Ooh. So Jeff this month and me in September. Wow. And so we're going to go to France in September is the next big.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be Great. Are you going to be in the city, or are you going into the country to do some hiking? What is your plan?
A little bit of everything. We're going to start out in the mountains in Chamonix and do some hiking around there. Then we're going to come back down into Lyon, which is supposedly a foodie lover's paradise.
Awesome.
So we're looking forward to spending a couple, 2-3 days just eating our way through Lyon. And then we'll move down into Avignon, and that'll be home base for almost a week. And we're going to try to see as much of the south of France as we can. And then we'll work our way up to Paris and stay in Paris for a few days and then come home.
Beautiful. So how long will you be gone total? Is that a 2-week trip, or?
It's going to be almost 3 weeks. I think it's like 19, 20 days. Yeah.
Awesome. That's
exciting.
So I hope you post some pictures. That's going to be amazing.
Oh, I will, for sure. You know me.
You're pretty good about it. But I always say, sometimes when people post pictures on Facebook of their travels, it's so easy to be, I know I've told you this before, it's so easy to be envious or jealous. But whenever I see your photos, I just think, man, that Tammy Callahan, she knows how to live. I'm always excited for you. And I guess that's how you know it's a true friend, when your heart expands and you feel so for your friend that's having these amazing experiences, So I hate to live it virtually through you. And as far as work, I guess we should talk a little bit about that. You spend a lot of your life doing that. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you do and how long you've been doing it.
So I worked in the insurance industry for many, many years in different facets of it. Mostly on the carrier side, providing medical benefits with Sharp. I worked for them for a while. I worked with Unum for a while doing ancillaries. But for the last 7 years, I've been working with a company called Sterling that they do third-party administration services. So not like the traditional kind of benefits, but I'm in sales. I mean, that's what I've been doing for 20 years. I have goals. I mean, I guess now I think about it, it's interesting. I said, now that makes a little bit more sense. Like they set a goal every year. I got to reach it. That's my job.
Right.
And that's what I do. I work with
maintain balance. That sounds like a really demanding, sales are so demanding because they're always moving the markers that you need to hit. So it's not kind of like how good you are. They're going to push you to go higher.
Yeah, your goals never go down.
They never do. They're never like, good job. We'll just baseline it here. They're like, okay, well, next year.
Yeah, part of it is I don't have kids, so that I don't have those added pressures of managing a family and getting kids to this practice and that practice and that rehearsal and this rehearsal. So I don't have, to worry about that kind of stuff as much. It does give me an opportunity to, just sort of focus on myself and Jeff and our little family unit. But it helps having a partner who hears ideas about what we want and what our goals are. Neither of us are very materialistic people. We've been in the same house for over 20 years. We drive our cars until they die and we get new cars. And so our priorities are our travels and our adventures. And so I think the balance comes from just managing a more minimalist day-to-day lifestyle so that we can do some of those more extravagant things on the back end.
Yeah, but it sounds like you and Jeff are really aligned too. It sounds like you have the same, from the outside anyway, it looks like you guys have the same goals, which probably really helps, when you're planning, and obviously you guys have been through everything together, being married 25 years. What's your secret? What's your secret for staying married for 25 years?
Gosh, it's so hard. It's so hard because, marriages take on so many incarnations over the years. I think the thing that at the end of the day that has helped us most was being friends first.
Yes.
We're friends. We like each other. We enjoy each other's company. That and we are dirty fighters. You know what I mean? Like, I think we've done a really good job over the years of not saying too many really, really mean things that you can't take back.
Yeah, that's huge.
I try to remind myself when I'm really angry with him, this is the person you love most in life. Treat them that way. Mm-hmm. Not always easy to do in the moment, but I try. I think we both try. I think we both do a good job at that, of treating each other lovingly and respectfully, especially when we're not really happy in the moment.
Yeah, I think for us, we've just celebrated our 30th anniversary.
So great!
Yay! Yeah, we made it. It was. We both kind of looked at each other like, "Oh my god!" Like we're so excited. Kind of emotional. Usually the years tick by and we're like, another dinner, But this year we looked at each other and we were like, oh my god. We've been together 34 years because we dated for 4 years before.
Wow.
Married. And so that was a huge milestone for us because you cannot be married for this amount of time, 25, 30 years, 40, 50. You cannot be married that amount of time and not have gone through some deep shit.
Right.
Can we shovel your way out?
Now? Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Find your way out.
Right.
But I know, is Jeff still really involved in his cycling? I know he is he is such an athlete. I think you both are such incredible athletes. I've admired that. I mean, the running, the cycling, you guys are so good at pushing yourself. I'm so good at like cheering you on from the side, like, hey, you're awesome. But I just don't have an interest. That's just not who I am. But
yeah,
next for him, he's got some stuff coming up, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Does he have a century ride or?
Well, he's doing for his 50th birthday. He and some of his buddies are going to Colorado for about a week, and they are going to tackle some peaks that are over 14,000 feet. They refer to them as the 14ers.
What? 14,000?
Yeah.
Oh my
yes. I think they're going to try. Their goal is to get at least 5 of them. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be tough. So they've put their training into a whole other gear the last few weeks. So I haven't been hiking with them as much, just because they're really preparing themselves for this particular adventure. It's been nice to see me to do some other things. I'm back in the pool and doing some swimming and stuff, which I haven't been doing for a while, which is really fun, especially during the summer. Nice to get in the pool. So yeah, that's what he's got planned at the end of this month.
And what about for you? What's next for you?
What's next for me? Gosh. Not really sure. Like, I don't really have anything planned right now. I want to try to enjoy the summer. It's been a while since I haven't had something that I was really training for or going after. So it'll be fun to kind of take it easy this summer. And like I said, I'm back in the pool, which has been fun to swim. So who knows where that might lead me. I might decide to sign up for an ocean swim or something, which I haven't done in a really long time.
Well, I have to say, Tammy, you have just always, both you and Jeff have always been such an inspiration to me. And I hope people hearing your story, you know, coming from a family of modest means to absolutely traveling the world and just living and creating this beautiful life at home and abroad. It's been such an inspiration for me to watch you guys live this amazing life. And I hope people listening to this interview today will realize that anything is possible if you really put your mind to it, you know?
Yeah. And you don't have to get it all in one day. I mean, that's one of the things that I just can't stress enough. I know in our society we have a tendency to compare ourselves to everyone else and what everyone else is doing. And it seems like it's only getting worse for those younger generations, and I feel kind of bad for them that they feel like they have to just be so accomplished by the time they graduate from college. But, you know, it took me a long time to get here, just slowly but surely, step by step, piece by piece. And that kind of makes you look back and appreciate it, I think, a little bit more, that you didn't get it all in one fell swoop. So enjoy the grind.
Yeah, I think also just stay in your lane.
Because
what happens is people see other people doing things and they want to run over there and do that. And then they come back over here and they want to do this. And they're always looking to the left and right. But the most important thing is to just stay in your lane and move at your speed. And you're going to get there exactly right on time. You know, it's not a...
You will. You will.
Race. Life is not a race.
Nope.
I think. Well, this has been so awesome connecting with you, Tammy. Thank you so much for making time today. I've enjoyed our conversation. I hope you're going to send me that awesome photo of you. You know,
I will for sure.
You know the one. Do you have any, last minute words of wisdom to help people who are maybe going through some adversity or, anything like that you can think of? Anything that's really kind of helped you move through some difficult?
I guess a couple things that I would leave people with. There's nothing more healing than being outdoors in the fresh air and the sunshine. And so even if you're just taking a walk around your neighborhood or a drive down to the beach or something, I just think there's a lot of healing power in being outdoors. So I know we have a tendency when we're not feeling well to just kind of pull ourselves up, and so I find that I just feel so much better when the sunshine is hitting my face and the wind is blowing. But other than that, just moving forward, one step at a time.
Beautiful. Well, thanks so much, Tammy, for joining me today, and thank you all for tuning in. If you like the show, please like and share, and I hope to see you next time. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you.